Hi everyone, it's Sonia here. Well, the news today, as of 1 a.m. this morning, is that President Trump and First Lady Melania have tested positive for coronavirus. Donald Trump tweeted tonight at Flotus and I tested positive for COVID-19. We will begin our quarantine and recovery process immediately. We will get through this together. Yesterday, he had tweeted, Hope Hicks, who has been working so hard without even taking a small break, has just tested positive for COVID-19. Terrible. First Lady and I are waiting for our test results. In the meantime, we will begin our quarantine process. Also, RNC Chair Ronna McDaniel tested positive. On Wednesday, she has mild symptoms. She was last with POTUS last Friday and has been in Michigan since then. Anyway, you know what? I found out a few interesting things about this. Oh, before I start, I just want to mention, if you are looking for ClO2 products, I still have available ClO2 pouches, which eliminate odors by removing viruses, bacteria, fungus, and mold. Also, water purification tabs, big, huge ones. One is enough for 10 gallons. These are still available through purifierpouch.com. And if you order through the link below, you get 3 pouches for 15% off and no shipping and handling, even if you live in Canada. So if you're interested, please click the link below. So here's something I found interesting. As I was reading about this, I discovered that they test all the White House people regularly. That's not a surprise. But what is surprising was that, you know what they use? They use a rapid test. And they had tested Donald Trump and Joe Biden right before the debate. They were negative. I mean, I guess it takes a few days for you to get to the point where you would have a positive test. So he might have already had come in contact. But at that point, he was testing negative. But they use a rapid test, which had me thinking, well, why aren't they using that everywhere? Is it so hard to get? Because you'd think that that would actually solve a lot of problems. If you could just rapid test people and know right away. I mean, imagine for the airlines, you know, I think they're working on it. But anyhow, apparently they do have this rapid test. Naturally, the news of the president's positive test has sparked a lot of reactions all over the internet, ranging from shock to sympathy to mockery. I noticed that some people are taking this as an opportunity to blame him. Like, oh, you brought this on yourself. Actually, we all know the mask doesn't protect the person who's wearing it. It just protects the people around them. So why is everybody arguing about whether Trump wore his mask? That mask allows particles through. It's just supposed to be so you don't spray your spit on other people. Remember? Speaking moistly? It's like people just always have to blame Trump for everything. Even he gets sick and they're like, oh, it's your fault. This is a man who travels a lot. The more you're around people, the more there's a possibility you could get it from someone close to you, especially when people who are very close to you already have it. I mean, really, I don't see why anyone should blame him. So far, the good news is they're only experiencing mild symptoms. Personally, I just hope that he's okay. I hope he doesn't get too sick and, you know, that he and Melania will recover quickly without issue. There is here a timeline of Donald Trump's movements in the last week. I guess what people are trying to figure out is, you know, who did he get it from and who could he have given it to? So Monday he was surveying some truck on the White House lawn, and then he held a conference at the Rose Garden to announce distribution of coronavirus testing kits to many states. And this was attended by a lot of people, including Mike Pence and members of Congress and state officials. Tuesday he went to Cleveland. White House aide Hope Hicks was part of a large entourage that traveled to Ohio with Trump aboard Air Force One for the debate, including members of Trump's family. Wednesday, Trump went to Minnesota, and Hope Hicks was again one of the staff that accompanied him on the trip. She started to feel unwell and isolated herself on Air Force One. Thursday, Hope Hicks tested positive for the coronavirus. So she tests positive on Thursday, and she's been accompanying Donald Trump in close quarters since at least Tuesday. So maybe she gave it to him. But you know what? Friday, 1 a.m., Donald Trump announces that he and Melania are positive. So maybe actually it was someone else who gave it to Hope Hicks and Donald Trump. Maybe it was Ronna McDaniel and she gave it to everybody. We don't know. Yeah, he wasn't testing positive for the debate on Tuesday. The next day, Hope Hicks starts feeling unwell. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe she had it before he did. Maybe they got it from someone else. Maybe they got it from the same person. Maybe she gave it to him. Maybe he gave it to her, but I don't think so because he was testing negative on Tuesday. Donald Trump is not the first leader of a nation to come down with the COVID. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro, he got it, but he was fine. And then there was Boris Johnson. People who are very important and very wealthy, the odds are that they're going to get the very best of care. I hope it doesn't come to the point where he needs it, but the odds are he'll be well taken care of if anything comes up. So the question though is, what happens if a presidential nominee can't finish the campaign? If Donald Trump was not able to perform his duties because he was really sick, there is a vice president, Mike Pence, and he would have to take over. But just because Donald Trump is in quarantine doesn't mean that he can't run the country. Justin Trudeau did it when he and Sophie got the COVID. So he can still do a lot of things from Zoom, unless he gets really sick, God forbid. And what if, God forbid, Donald Trump doesn't make it? What's going to happen then? CBC says if Trump was not able to finish the campaign, the short answer is it would be complicated and probably contentious. There are rules to replace a candidate, but it would be a monumentally complex task. At this late stage in the election, with advanced voting already underway in numerous states, to get individual states to reprint their ballots with the names of all the candidates running in national, state, and local races. The next option would be to turn the issue over to the Electoral College voters and get them to agree on a replacement. In short, there would be a ton of uncertainty if we face such a tragedy as a presidential candidate dying during this period, as if 2020 could not get more complicated and crazy. A Supreme Court decision this year on a loosely related issue offered little clarity. The majority opinion written by Justice Elena Kagan in the Chiafalo versus Washington State case contained a footnote referring in passing to such a scenario. Kagan wrote that some argue that Electoral College voters should be free to choose their preferred candidate given the possibility of a candidate dying after Election Day. Kagan said some states give their Electoral College voters discretion when a candidate has died. As for states that don't, she said, she would suspect the states would give their electors flexibility in the event of a candidate's death. But she made clear this scenario was not the primary focus of the case before the court and said she was not ruling on that issue. There was one thing I noticed that I thought was really strange about how this was being reported on. I think it was this article right here from CBC, where they showed as their picture, it was Donald Trump and Melania, but Donald Trump had his face was from the side, and it looked like his eyes were closed, and he was like, and then later they changed the picture to this one instead. It looked, honestly to me, it looked like if he was in his coffin. I know that sounds really creepy, but they have many photos to choose from, probably hundreds, thousands. And they chose a photo which looked like the way his face would look if he was resting in his coffin. It had that certain, like, very rested, sort of still, almost peaceful look with the eyes closed. And I was like, why are they putting a picture of Trump where he looks like he's dead? Oh, look, I found it. Look, it was this picture. This is what was originally on CBC. See? Doesn't that look just like... I mean, look, it looks like the way people look when they're in their coffin. I think they did it on purpose. Maybe to make the people who don't like him happy at the thought that he might die. Which is the kind of thing the media would do, But then I found something else that was really creepy on Facebook. One of my friends posted a picture from The Simpsons which shows Donald Trump in a casket. And as we know, The Simpsons seems to have some kind of an oracle to it. Oh wait, good news, thank God for the internet. It turns out this picture has been floating around since August with the claim that The Simpsons predicted Trump would die on August 27th, but apparently this is fake. They somehow put the image of Trump into this picture of a coffin. It's like, thank God for the internet and curse you, internet, all at the same time. So much confusion. Donald Trump's pretty tough. I know he's kind of old, but he's pretty healthy, and he's a tough guy, and he's gonna get the best care possible if he does get sick. So let's just hope that President Trump is okay, and that's it. What a crazy year. Anyhow, thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me in the chat. God bless you guys. Thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.